Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. How is everybody doing?
Hey, it's the Apostate Prophet who recently, like in the last 2 minutes, figured out how to make a camera work.
Yes, I have been having technical problems, which is why this took significantly longer than it normally takes. Normally, I'm only 10 minutes late or 15 minutes late, but this time I'm 20 minutes late or 25 minutes late. How does that happen? It happens when you have technical problems that you just can't seem to be solving.
Yeah.
David, what's up? How you doing?
It's good. Except I do live streams with a guy who is completely incompetent. He's more incompetent than me when it comes to technical stuff, and that's a pretty disturbing feature.
Pretty. This man is more slippery.
I set the bar pretty high as far as being more incompetent than me when it comes to electronics.
That's beast. So anyway, here gay piece said being late is gay. That's pretty. That's a very gay thing to say. Yeah, David, what's up? How you doing?
Yo, what's up then?
Have you heard about this guy called Asmongold?
No.
You haven't heard of Asmongold?
I may have. I
you kidding, man?
Forgot about him as soon as I heard about him. Who is he?
You don't know about Asmongold?
Put a picture up and let's see.
Well, honestly, I didn't know anything about him at all until yesterday when he started going viral. He's one of them young. He's one of them young streamers that the wee lads fancy watching. This guy here, this dude here. You probably have seen his face somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, that's the guy you put in the thumbnail.
Yes, exactly that guy.
This guy looks extremely
dangerous,
intelligent, and you could tell that no matter what this guy's saying, it's as good as gold. See what I did there? It's his name. It's his name. See how witty that was?
That's fantastic. That's a very, very smart moment. Very, very interesting observation here. So what actually happened is that this guy is a streamer. He apparently became famous a long time ago, many years ago, by streaming a certain game named World of Warcraft. As far as World of Warcraft. A very nerdy game.
Also known as Zach Roar.
Yeah.
Is that his gaming name?
I only saw his face before. I had no idea what he's even doing. Have never been really very much into watching gaming streamers, although I play games myself. However, yesterday or the day before, he started going viral everywhere because he said some things that people were totally outraged about.
The people?
And people started canceling him and saying, "How dare you? How dare this guy say such a thing? He's literally Hitler," and all. And eventually, he also got banned from Twitch. And today, also, some sponsors working with him made statements that they are going to sever ties with him after mutual agreement. Because he said some particular words about the conflict that is ongoing in Israel.
Oh, so his real name is Zach Hoyt. Yeah, I'd probably change my name too if I was Zach Hoyt. He went with he switched Zach Hoyt to Asmongold and Zach Roar. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, that seems very change worthy as well. That's also why I call myself Apostate.
So as of yet, I don't even know what he said. I don't even know which side he's on, because I'm like, did he criticize Hamas and then got banned for it? Did he defend Hamas and then got banned? I don't even know, man. I don't even know.
Just dissing this guy when he did nothing wrong. So
that's what I mean. He may be the nicest, most intelligent guy in the world.
It's called intelligentist.
He's still got a dorky bunch of names.
That's true.
I'm not gonna change my view of lame names just because I agree or disagree with someone.
So what he said is, things. That's basically what he said. That's basically the summary of what he said. And people got outraged about it. That is basically
that tells you virtually nothing, because anything you say nowadays, people get enraged about. So he could have said 2 + 2 is 4. People will flip out over. How dare you? That's literal genocide thing. Mathematics is true.
That's
You're
basically
a
what he said.
supremacist.
That's basically what he said. Now, so the video was going around of him streaming on his big screen with his small face down here. I just thought, why do people have to do this? So I just cut to it, and it's fantastic. While I'm here, people are running around in the house, and it feels like an invasion happening. Anyway, so anyway, this I cut this out and put it all on a big screen, and this guy is talking about the conflicts, about how about people are saying, well, why don't you say something about the genocide? Why don't you say something about the Palestinians? They're being genocided. Why don't you talk about genocide? And I think in the past his position was pretty much that that he doesn't want to talk about an issue that he thinks people shouldn't be talking about, but before informing themselves properly about it, and so on.
It seems like a good example.
Eventually, they actually eventually they pushed him into making a comment about it, and then they all got mad at him. So, so let's have a listen. Let's have a listen. There's a little bit of an amount of profanity. Alhamdulillah. Let's see.
If you want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way. They'd be doing the same thing. And how much did they kill? As many as they can. They're not able to kill as many people as Israel because they don't have as many bombs and as many weapons. But if they did, they'd be doing the same thing. That's it. Just takes enough. That's right. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways. It is that simple. No, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care. I don't support them. If you
So, David, what do you think?
He sounds significantly meaner than I am, and therefore he's kind of in the same ballpark with you. That's exactly what AP sounds like 24/7.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how right is he according to your assessment?
He's right in a lot of what he said. I would be different in that, if I know someone, even the people who support Hamas or something like that, I would be aware of how they're raised, and I would say, okay, I'd like to see them get out of that. You've been conditioned to think in these ways, and so I think if we can show you the error of your ways. In other words, it's not just, I don't care, we can kill you all or something like that. I'd be more along the lines of, one, there are people who don't agree with Hamas over there. They're the minority and so on. But yeah, I don't know, because I just come from a different background. I come from a background of really, really messed up people. And every once in a while, someone gets a second chance and gets to change and so on. So I never have this, oh, this person's bad, therefore, let's just wipe them out or something like that. Apart from that, he was spitting a lot of accurate information in terms of Islam actually calls for the extermination of Jews eventually, if not necessarily right this minute. Also, him pointing out, hey, if you're complaining about what Israel is doing, Hamas would be doing the same thing. I disagree. They'd be doing way worse. When we talk about Israel, if they wanted to, they could bomb the entire. They could literally wipe out the entire population of Gaza if they wanted to. Hamas would actually do that. Israel could do it, but they don't. Hamas can't do it, but they would. The only even possibility of sparing anyone would be that there are, Muslims in the area and stuff. But they've shown repeatedly they do not care about the Muslims on the Israel side of things. And so, yeah, it's he was spitting some reality to his viewers there, which is why they probably threw a tantrum. Because
So what you're saying is that you completely 100% agree with everything he says. Is that what we can take away from this?
You're 80% right.
I'm 80% right that you 100% agree with him.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh, interesting. So, as you heard here, David, with the ruthless attitude that he has, thinks that what Asmongold said here, which of course rightly outraged a lot of people and made them very angry, is completely accurate, and David has no problem with this, which just makes me question. I don't know. What if David has any ounce of humanity in him, any ounce of compassion in him? Apparently nothing at all. Apparently none at all. This is apparently what it has come to nowadays. So that's the situation here.
Hey, hang on. Hey, you know what you have to wonder?
What?
Like, so you're pointing out people have been pressuring him for a long time to go ahead and say something. Speak out, condemn the Jews. And he's been saying, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. And finally, they're like, and again, this is just based on you. Apart from what I just heard, I've never heard of this guy. And then eventually they said, look, you got to tell us about the Jews.
Tell us what you think, or we will come for you.
And then he responded. But what's interesting is you have to wonder how many more people there are out there like this. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like you've got the people who are protesting on either side and so on. You have to wonder how many people you have who are just like, the reason I'm not speaking on this is because you got a lot of messed up terrorists there, and I don't particularly care if Israel deals with them in whatever way they see fit. You wonder if there's just a lot of people out there who aren't talking because they don't want to get blasted and canceled and so on, but they are thinking like that.
Yeah. So it's basically people saying, "Why don't you talk about Holocaust? Why don't you talk about the genocide? Why don't you talk about genocide?" And he's like, "Okay, fine. Here's what I think." And then they're like, so that's basically how it went down.
He should have ended with that. With the way he should have said, "So, all you people who wanted me to speak out, did you get what you wanted? Did that go the way you thought? Do you like the outcome? Because I wasn't going to say anything, but you really, really wanted me to. You demanded it. Now you heard it. You asked for it. Now you got it. How you feeling now? You happy? You happy with the life decisions you've made to pressure me into giving my view?" I'd be like that.
Yeah.
If you want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's analyze these parts at first.
He's correct.
David, in what way can you justify this outrageous statement made by Asmongold? He says genocide is baked into Sharia law right now.
Yeah, well, so people are aware of the 3-option system or the 2-option system. So the 3-option system applies to Jews and Christians, some would say Sabians and so on. But Christians have the option, once Islam has taken over an area, Christians and Jews have the option we have 3 options. We can convert to Islam, we can continue with our religions, but take an inferior position, an inferior status in society, and pay the jizya. We pay tribute money to our Muslim overlords, or we can die. Those are our options. Other groups have 2 options. You convert or die. So if you choose to remain of a non-Islamic religion in an area where Islam has come to dominate, then it's convert or die. But even though that was the official rule with the people of the book, that we have these 3 options, Muhammad became increasingly hostile to Jews throughout his life. And eventually he said that he wanted to expel Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and not leave anyone but Muslims there. And of course, we have the famous Hadith passages where he says that the end will not come. You're not going to get your virgins and so on in paradise until Muslims fight the Jews, until the Jews are hiding behind rocks and trees, and the rocks and trees are crying out, hey, there's a Jew behind me, come kill him. And so that is a call for exterminating Jews just for being Jews. Other groups get wiped out for refusing to convert and so on.
That's what you call a genocide. That is literally what a genocide would be. If you believe that that eventually you need to, and you look forward to, and you want to eradicate this entire population, just not now, but a time will come, and you will do that, and you look forward to it. That act is literally genocide. So it would be genocidal intent. It would be genocidal intent. So into Islam, it is directly part of Islam. It's directly part of Sharia. It's directly part of the Islamic religion. It is acknowledged by Muslims around the world. Most Muslims around the world have heard of the prophecy that they will eventually kill the Jews and so on. So this is something that Islam actually believes in, and this is literally a genocidal intent. I know people are pointing out and saying he made an apology video for this. I am aware of it, and I want to have a look at that as well. I personally haven't watched it, but I will check that out, and I also want to initially look at what he actually said, because regardless of whether he apologized or not, and I think apologizing for such a thing, I don't know what he said in his apology, how far he apologized. I saw that he made a tweet about it at some point. No matter what he says, whether it changes nothing about whether he is right here in his initial statements that caused all the outrage or not, right? That doesn't really matter. In fact, if he is completely right here in what he's saying, and later on he then goes on and apologizes due to pressure, it would be just worse, because it would mean that the reality, the truth, doesn't prevail in an environment here where people just pressure each other to cover up the facts. That's basically what it is.
So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck.
That was the other point of disagreement, is that we don't think they're not actually being genocided. He's right that they have genocide baked into their system, but they're not in return being genocided. They're being massively inconvenienced, and people are dying and so on. It's rough times. It's really rough times. It's war. Buildings are getting destroyed. People are losing their lives. It's not genocide unless you're just trying to wipe out the group because that's their group.
Yeah. So one major part of disagreement here is I agree with him very, very much, largely with almost everything that he says here, except for the one part where except for two aspects of it, which are, number one, that they are actually experiencing a genocide here. There is no genocide taking place. There simply is no genocide taking place. It is not happening. Number two would be the idea that those who wish for genocide, or those who have genocide baked into their system, deserve to be genocided. I agree with the sentiment to a certain extent, not in saying that they deserve it and that they should be genocided or anything like that. I would say if those who actually wish for a genocide against the others, against the Jews, for example, if those same people end up suffering, I don't care. I don't care. I honestly don't care at all. No sympathy. In my opinion, they deserve absolutely no sympathy. That said, I wouldn't say that they deserve to be genocided, and I also don't believe that there is a genocide going on. And it doesn't even matter if I believe it or not. There simply isn't. Anyone who claims that there is a genocide, anyone who claims that Israel is committing a genocide, would have to demonstrate it. So far, States have failed to demonstrate it. Organizations have failed to demonstrate it. Nobody has demonstrated it. That's it. That's it.
You know what he just reminded me of? He reminded me of Bill Burr, right? Because normally what you'd have is either people who believe it's a genocide and they say it's wrong because genocide is wrong, or people who don't believe it's a genocide, right? Bill Burr was talking about abortion, and on the abortion issue, you normally, if you believe it's murdering a baby, then you would normally be against abortion. If you believe that it's okay, you'd normally not classify it as murdering a baby. Whereas he said, he's weird because it's both. He said, yes, I believe that women have right to do that, but I also believe you're killing a baby. I just don't care. I just don't care much, right? So anyway, it was like this weird position of, I believe you're doing this thing, but I just don't care. I just don't care. And so that's what he sounds like. He sounds like it's, hey, I believe it is genocide, and I believe it's actually fine, and I don't care because you guys are really messed up. And therefore, if you get completely exterminated for being in this group called the Palestinians or something like that, I do not care. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Genocide, you have to bring proof. That's right. Let's continue.
They're terrible people. It's not even a question. They're terrible people. Decided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way. They'd be doing the same thing.
That's the creepiest part, that he takes this long drink. It's like, hey, dude, here's this guy. Here's this guy. Here's this guy. Look, I don't care. If you want the streets to flow with the blood of every man, woman, and child in that entire area, just completely wiping. Oh, that's good. Just completely wiping them off the planet. I'm good with that. I don't care.
Maybe he was in the middle of eating his meal. And the funny thing is, when you listen closely, he's also playing some calm, chill folk music or something in the background while he's talking about genocide and death and destruction.
It's crazy that people don't see it that way. They'd be doing the same thing.
Look at the music. Do you hear the music? Like,
oh, that's good. Coke Zero.
Death and destruction, murder. They deserve to be killed.
And how much did they kill? As many as they can. They're not able to kill as many people as Israel because they don't have as many bombs and as many weapons. But if they...
He is onto something, although I don't think that he got it completely right. They cannot kill as many as they want to, because yes, they don't have the means, and number two, because Israel has the means to protect their own citizens.
He said
And
number two. That's Islam.
And they really, that's the soundtrack to Skyrim. Are you kidding me? Wait a minute, David, you don't know what Skyrim is. Don't try.
That's a video game.
As many as they can. They're not able to kill as many people as Israel because they don't have as many bombs and as many weapons. But if...
I guess I haven't played it in 10 years, so I don't know this anyway. I don't know.
But when it comes to digging tunnels...
Yeah. But the actual reason that they don't manage to kill as many Israelis, as many Jews as they want to, is because Israel actually cares about their own population and protects their own population. When Hamas has money which they receive for free without doing anything, without working at all, they spend their money on building a large, huge tunnel system with which they set up for fighting against Israel, a tunnel system under the civilian population from where they fight against Israel. When Israel has the means, they build a large defense system instead. They build the Iron Dome, they build a missile defense system, and they build shelters for their civilian population to let them know whenever an attack is happening and to tell them to hide. Every single time when something is launched and it is detected, people in Israel everywhere receive notifications. You have alarms, sirens, and at the same time, everyone in Israel is told to have an app, Red Alert, and also different apps, which immediately receive high priority notifications saying, if you are in this region, seek shelter now. This is what happens in Israel. I still have the app. I downloaded it when I went there. I still have it. I still get the notifications. I just didn't want to turn it off, just so I'm on top of what's happening over there. That's what people receive all the time. If the other side, if the so-called Palestinian side cared so much about lives, they would also start building things and defending their own population instead of just wanting to destroy and then being proud of sacrificing their own population. They are terrible people.
They did, they'd be doing the same thing. That's it. Just takes enough. That's right. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for.
David, what do you think about all of this?
Inferior culture, check.
David said he's a Nazi.
Would gladly do all this stuff to you if they weren't just technologically backwards, check.
How could you agree with this, David? How could you agree with this? Can you justify these terrible, hateful ideas that you have just shared with us?
Which ones?
That they are, number one, an inferior culture, and number two, that they would do the same things.
Yeah, I mean, if guys,
and number three, that they are not our allies.
I mean, just think about this. It's you've got this group, and they sit around. They believe that the entire world has to be subjugated to them, but they can't get it done because the entire world has moved on and advanced more, and now they're incapable of actually conquering and subjugating the entire world. So they sit around, running around just randomly killing anyone they could get their hands on from the other side, and then moaning and wailing about being victims and please send us more aid. And like, they're entirely dependent on other nations sending them stuff, and then they prop up terrorists who then take all the stuff that other nations send to them, and then the terrorists are billionaires, and then these dummies keep supporting the terrorists who take all the aid and make and use it so their sons can drive around in Bugattis in the UAE. And it's like complete insanity and stupidity from top to bottom.
You don't even have to go to their leaders in Qatar and Kuwait and wherever these filthy people are. You can directly look at how the so-called Palestinian society looks. In Gaza, people have never really worked. They get everything for free. However, Gaza looked pretty good before the war. It looked better than much of the Muslim world. There is another part, the West Bank, Judea and Samaria. Ramallah is the capital. People are going around still saying dumb things like, oh, they're being oppressed, they're in prison, this concentration camp, Israel has been doing to Palestinians all of these things and so on. And people from places like Pakistan are giving charity and sending money over to the Palestinians. I just want everyone to go and look up something that I've recently demonstrated. Just look up what it is like to live in the Palestinian territories. Prior to this, I showed what Gaza looks like. I just want to show here quickly what Ramallah looks like, and what kind of vehicles these people are driving, and what kind of life they're living. There are people in Pakistan, Afghanistan, around the Muslim world, even in Turkey, that would kill to be here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I remember prison being like. I look at this and I'm like, prison, exactly like prison. All the cars and the trees. beautiful lights, the nightlife. See, look, stone walls, stone walls. That's exactly like prison. You got these. I mean, it's, you know,
This is heaven compared to Pakistan. Look at the vehicles, man.
I don't see any Bugattis. It's like Jeeps and stuff like that, man. That's prison. Those are prison vehicles. Okay,
There's
so
Jeeps driving around.
we didn't have Bugattis.
There are German vehicles driving around.
Yeah, of course.
You will see more in a little bit.
That's just like prison, man. We had all kinds of German vehicles.
You have Mercedes driving around. So far, I haven't seen a crappy vehicle. I see more crappy vehicles here in America than I see here on this video.
See, they got the overhead lights so the guards can see you. Those guards will turn those lights on even in the middle of the night just to annoy you. They don't care. See, these guys have to live with lights right in their face all day, all night.
Another Volkswagen.
Look at all the stone walls everywhere. Stone. Why?
Look at this. You walk across the street, you see another Jeep there, another Hyundai there, another. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Look, Mercedes, but not a Bugatti. Not a Bugatti.
You literally have luxury with vehicles here.
Come on, everyone had a Mercedes of some sort in prison.
Look at this.
Is that a Beamer up there? What is it?
These are just regular vehicles. It's not like some big politicians are driving around here.
I have to say, AP.
Yes.
This is on the other side of the fence, but doesn't this look pretty much exactly like Israel?
Yes. I would say this looks even better than many parts that I've seen in Tel Aviv, for example.
Oh well, yeah, we were in the high crime area.
Wait, what is that vehicle over there? What is that SUV there?
It's a Mercedes, right?
We have a Mercedes sitting there.
But look at the high traffic. You're not paying attention to the traffic.
You have this SUV there. It's crazy, man. Lots of people in the Muslim world would please take me there. Please take me here. I want to live there. I want to have one of those vehicles. I want to have this life here. Please. The same people that feel bad about Palestinians, that feel bad about Palestine and say, oh, free Palestine, they're being oppressed, they're being treated so horribly. These are the same people that soon, I bet, soon will rise up and also say, we have been oppressed, we were forced to go out and kill as many people as we could, and rape, and this and that. If you lived the way we lived, you would also go out and do that. Look how oppressed we are. Look how oppressed we are. Look how oppressed we are with these beautiful vehicles. Look how oppressed we are with this beautiful life here. Look how oppressed we are. Look how we're being tortured here. And the same people will be unhappy with what they have just because they are not given one right. And that right is the right to destroy Israel and kill the Jews. That's it. Why would I care about these people?
And it is an inferior culture in all ways. It is that simple.
Needless to say, it doesn't look that beautiful because they are wonderful people who built such a beautiful place. It is that way because they get a lot of aid, a lot of things for free, from charities around the world, from the United Nations, and so on.
No, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care. I don't support them.
Alhamdulillah. So, I made a little thread here in which I went through this. I see it has now 19,000 likes. But I want to kind of expand on this a little bit. I said, I don't know who Asmongold is, but he's right. The Palestinians are not the victim. Islam is genocidal, and here is the evidence. And I posted this here. You can see here in Hamas's charter, 1988 charter, that they have this here directly in their core text, where they announce their goals and their beliefs. Moreover, if the links have been distant from each other, and if obstacles placed by those who are the lackeys of Zionism in the way of the fighters obstructed the continuation of the struggle, the Islamic resistance movement is the direct translation of Hamas's name. Hamas is an abbreviation in Arabic for Islamic resistance movement, which is Harakat al-Muqawwama al-Islamiyya. Aspires to the realization of Allah's promise, no matter how long that should take. And what is that promise? What is that promise? The Prophet, Allah bless him and grant him salvation, has said, the day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight the Jews, when the Jew will hide behind stones and trees. The stones and trees will say, O Muslim, O servant of Allah, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him. Only the Kargat tree would not do that because it is one of the trees of the Jews. This is directly in their charter. If you don't believe me, if it's too hard to believe, search for Hamas Charter 1988. You will immediately have the results in front of you. For example, when you search, you will get here Yale University Avalon Project. Very, very prominent in preserving certain documents like these. Or you can go to the Wikipedia page of it, and it will redirect you to the content of the text. And here is the text. It's right in front of you, translated and laid out for you from a reliable source. And you can find this directly in Article 7 of their covenant, the universality of the Islamic resistance movement. Here they appeal to Muslims around the world and also explain to them that it is everyone's duty to join the fight, whose eventual goal is the destruction and extermination of the Jews. This is Hamas. This is Hamas. And the Muslims in Gaza are aware of what Hamas believes in and what they preach. In the end, Hamas doesn't keep this a secret. They have been blasting, they have been telling this openly to their own people all the time. They have their own national TV, Al-Aqsa TV, where they have been talking about eradicating the Jews and how the day will come that they will kill the Jews all the time. This is no secret at all. In fact, here, I showed this video 50,000 times by now. 50,000 times by now, I counted. Here you have a famous speaker who is also happens to be the guy who is in charge of Al-Aqsa TV. In 2018, he was saying that within 2 years, or within 4 years, the first goal to be reached is the cleansing of Palestine of the filth of the Jews, which sounds like this.
منهما أولا هو تنظيف فلسطين من دنس اليهود واستئصالهم بإذن الله وهو قاب قوسين أو أدنى 4 سنوات أخواننا 2022.
Of course, he said in 4 years, he was promising his people there who were gathered for the so-called peaceful March of Return in 2018. He was telling them that this is going to be happening in 4 years.
Dude, COVID. Stop saying, oh, you failed in your promise. Dude, you can't predict COVID. You can't predict something like COVID. It throws off people's timelines, man.
Well, it was a giant failure. I hope this guy is very happy about the results now. Hope he's very, very happy about the results. And the second thing, if there are people here who don't care about Jews, the second thing should be concerning you if you at least care about yourself and you're not an Islamist. Because the second thing that he promises, and that Hamas also promised, was the establishment of the caliphate. Their idea is, after we are done with the Jews, after we have killed and removed the Jews from this land, we will restart the caliphate, which was destroyed at the beginning of the last century, which means global Islamic imperialism. Global Islamic imperialism. If you are some idiot who doesn't like Islam, likes his freedoms, but also doesn't care about Jews, maybe this is something that you should be paying attention to. and therefore seeing that Israel has a point.
وإقامة الخلافة بعد أن تتعافى الأمة من سرطانها وهو اليهود بإذن الله سبحانه.
Talking about the cancer of the Jews. You are the cancer, you and your society. You and your society. And here's another example of the guy who was recently taken out gladly. I'm so glad he's dead. Ismail Haniyeh, who was the leader of Hamas. He said that he's proud of the sacrifice of the blood of the children and women and elderly.
كما قلت وفي كل مرة أكرر إن دماء الأطفال والنساء والشيوخ لا أقول تستصرخكم بل نحن الذين نحتاج هذه الدماء لكي توقظ فينا روح الثورة.
He says that the blood of the children and the women
No, he said
and
children.
the elderly in Gaza is needed. So the blood that is spilled of their own population is needed so that it will ignite within them the spirit of revolution to then go against Israel and destroy Israel and take the land. But somehow people around the world are supposed to feel sorry and supposed to feel bad. When this guy, when Hamas loves to kill their own population for their murderous goal, and their own population even supports their actions.
لكي توقظ فينا العناد لكي توقظ فينا التحدي والسير إلى الأمام.
They loved Haniyeh. They were sad that he died. They loved Ismail Haniyeh. In fact, you could let's see. There was a poll immediately after October 7, which was led by the PCPSR, which doesn't stand for the drug PCP. It stands for Palestinian Center for Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research. They did a survey of their own population and their thoughts on October 7. According to that, 52% of Gazans and 85% of West Bank respondents, or 72% of Palestinian respondents overall, voiced satisfaction with the role of Hamas in the war. Only 11% of Palestinians voiced satisfaction with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. In other polls, they expressed that they support things that Hamas has done on October 7. In general, they were still satisfied with Hamas's performance in the war. So we're not talking about Hamas as a terrorist organization that takes their own population as hostage and forces them to die. No, you have the population itself that actually stands with these criminals. And they send their own people to death. And then they ask you for sympathy. I don't care. I don't care. Neither should you.
I have to say it. I mean, isn't it weird? I mean, it's like we want to violently subjugate the entire world. Now, we're not able to do that right now. So, entire world, can you please sympathize with us? We want to exterminate you guys, but we can't. Can you please feel really bad for us? We want to wipe you. We want to wipe out the men and take your daughters and wives as our sex slaves, but we just can't do it right now. So can you guys just, have protests around the world for us until we're actually able to slaughter everyone we want to slaughter and rape everyone we want to rape? Come on, feel bad for us, guys. We really want you to feel bad for us.
They just won't allow us to kill them all. Why are they doing this to us? Why are they doing this to us? And of course, this whole idea, this sickness of wanting to eradicate the Jews is not just something that Hamas believes in. It is something that Islam is directly all about. And yes, we have beaten it to death, but yet here it is again in front of our eyes. The Prophet Muhammad said, "The last hour will not come until the Muslims fight against the Jews, until a Jew will hide himself behind a stone or a tree, and the stone or the tree will say, 'O Muslim, There is a Jew behind me. Come and kill him. But the Garga tree will not say so, for it is the tree of the Jews. This is an Islamic prophecy spoken by Muhammad. This is considered totally authentic. The majority of Muslims around the world know of this hadith. They cite it every single time when something happens in the between Israel and the other side. They love it. They know it. They believe in it. If you have never heard of this, you probably are not a Muslim. That's it. It is part of Islam. As even Asmongold said, I don't know how he got this right. Interesting. He said it is baked into Sharia, the genocide. And that's true. It is true. It is correct. I don't care if he later on apologized. If he apologized and if he took those things back, then he is just wrong. And I will reserve my thoughts until I see the apology. I have to look at that first. But this is directly part of Islam. And religious Muslims know about this. They believe in it. For example, you have Ali Dawa.
He will truly come, not claim to be divine. He will come and rather kill the Dajjal. And inshallah, that day will come where trees will be talking to Muslims, where trees will be talking to Muslims, where trees will be talking to Muslims, inshallah.
This is what David Wood posted basically on his Twitter page. Here's Ali Dawa referencing it. Here is some caveman preaching to other cavemen.
أن المسلمين يتقاتلون مع اليهود حتى يختبئ اليهودي خلف الحجر والشجر وهذا أيضا من صفاتهم أنهم جبناء.
And then he says another trait of the Jews is that they are cowardly, feeble, and humiliated, while his own people are hiding in tunnels under the civilian population.
And I mean, it's great because they prepare for that too, right? I mean, it's not like they just randomly run and hide. They prepare for a future in which they know they're going to be running and hiding underground.
Yes.
And so they spend all their time building tunnels, knowing, hey, when things go down, we are running. We are running. We're going to leave the women and children up there so they get killed. But us strong men, we're going to run and hide underground, as far underground as we can possibly dig, because that's how we roll.
You're hiding, boy. You're hiding.
فيهم خور وفيهم ذلة فرصة لنا أن نعيد بلادنا وأن.
This is an opportunity for us to retrieve our lands and our holy places, because this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. Look what he's saying. I've heard some scholars say that when the tyranny of the Jews reaches the rocks and the trees, man, he was saying when it reaches the rocks and the trees, then even the rocks and trees will speak out. The rocks and trees will bear witness against them and point to where they are hiding. This is the logic, of course. I heard from another scholar that this will happen because the Jews, they will be oppressing, wallahi, just like they're oppressing our glorious terrorists. They will oppress the trees and the stones. Elon, fix your Twitter, man. Which is why the trees and the stones will tell on them, because they will feel oppressed too.
في آخر الزمان بلغ إلى البشرية بل ونال الجمادات وجميع الكائنات حتى يختبئ اليهودي خلف الحجر والشجر فيقول الحجر والشجر يا مسلم يا عبد الله هذا يهودي خلفي تعالى.
Imagine being so deluded that you believe that you're so right in hating these guys and killing them, that even in the future, the rocks and trees, they will talk to you and they will say, hey, we realize now that you are totally right. Now it's time for you to come and kill them. You wait for the rocks and trees to talk to you, you absolute nut jobs. Wait for the rocks and trees to talk to you, you mentally ill people, and maybe check yourselves in a mental
حتى
hospital or something. I
يختبئ
don't know. That's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be
اليهود
preaching. You shouldn't be preaching. You should be taking medication for that. David, you look like you want to say something.
I don't want to say anything. This guy's saying it all, man. Fatty McFattykins here.
And then you have this guy here who wants to eat the Jews.
They're eating the Jews. He's eating the Jews. He's eating the Christians.
عز وجل ببعض فما جزاء من يفعل ذلك منكم إلا خزي وما الله بغافل عما تشبه باليهود إذا حققت العبودية لله فأبشر وأمن بوعد الله.
Hang on. I can't tell. Is that two women on the side, or is that just like some? What is that?
No, the coats hanging.
Oh,
there.
they're just hanging there. It's hard
Yeah.
to tell. It's hard to
It's
tell.
not women hanging, it's coats
Okay.
hanging.
الزمان حينما ينتصر المسلمون على شرار الخلق على شياطين الإنس يقول الحجر والشجر يا
Oh, Muslim, oh, servant of Allah, there is a Jew hiding behind me. Come and eat him.
تعال فاقتله.
Come, kill and eat him.
And the rocks and trees will say, come, there's a Jew behind me, come and kill him. And I can't wait for that to happen because I want to eat them all.
I have
I want
personally
to eat the Jews.
I have personally eaten more than 300 Jews in my lifetime. Now I have a taste for it. Now I have a taste for Jew. And I want more. I want to eat all the Jews in the whole world.
I want to eat all of the Jews. Alhamdulillah, I just cannot wait. I hope the day come very soon so that the stone says to me, brother, there's a Jew behind me. Come and cook and eat him.
I have.
And I will
I
go
have
and
a
eat him.
hankering. A hankering. I said that I have a hankering for Jew flesh.
خلف الحجر
They're eating the Jews.
والشجر.
Eating the Jews. Eating the Christians.
And then there are people going around still believing in a two-state solution. What two-state solution? What two-state solution? What two-state solution? With whom? Here is Hamas, their freedom fighters, saying in their later so-called updated charter, they say Hamas believes that no part of the land of Palestine shall be compromised or conceded irrespective of the causes, the circumstances, and the pressures, and no matter how long the occupation lasts. Hamas rejects any alternative to the full and complete liberation of Palestine from the river to the sea. However, without compromising its rejection of the Zionist entity, and without relinquishing any Palestinian rights, Hamas considers the establishment of a fully sovereign and independent Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital along the lines of the 4th of June 1967, with the return of the refugees and the displaced to their homes from which they were expelled to be a formula of national consensus. Do you understand the idea here? The idea here is, hey guys, we want all of the land. We want to destroy the Jews. We want to destroy Israel. We want to take all of this land. However, don't worry. We don't want all of that right now, necessarily. We can also agree, Israel, dear guys, if you're listening, Israel, we can also agree for now to a two-state solution, so that we can build our land and our power properly, and then we can still work toward destroying you and getting all of the land. That's basically what this article here is saying.
And that's what everyone understands when people are going, why would you give them their own country and then they'll be fine and then they'll leave? No. They understand that would only be temporary.
No.
Yeah, they understand, the jihadis understand, and they would agree at this point to a two-state solution, which they understand as only temporary to give them a better, more effective base of operations wherewith to plot the massacre of all Israel. And so people say, yeah, no, not until you change your mind about what your plans are. And that's where we are right now. You got a bunch of morons on college campuses running around going, just give these guys what they want. Just give these guys what they want.
Israel knows very well that even if all of the college campus morons out there are marching and standing with the terrorists, Israel knows exactly what the terrorists believe in. Israel knows exactly what the other non-terrorist terrorists believe in.
Mainly because the terrorists keep telling them over and over and over again. And they tell everyone, just people don't listen, and they assume, oh, okay, what do these terrorists want? They just want freedom and tolerance and LGBTQ rights for all. That's what they really want. Why? Because that's what I want. And I'm assuming, since we're all oppressed peoples here, that they want the exact same thing that I want. And
so they walk around and they say, ceasefire now, ceasefire now. If enough of us speak, then this will convince Israel. And Israel doesn't care. They simply go ahead with their plan, with their military plans and so on. And then they go, wait a minute, why is Israel not listening to us? Why is Israel not listening to anybody and just doing whatever they want? Because Israel doesn't care about you, because you people are enabling the terrorism. And Israel will not have it anymore. Israel will not have it anymore. Even if it's the United Nations that opposes Israel and says, we are very concerned. It is now time to stop fighting and to give in to their demands. No, nobody cares. We will not be killed. We will not be massacred.
And part of the reason is, they kind of been through this situation, and not too terribly long ago, as far as, hey, let's just keep, the entire world thinks we should keep appeasing these guys that want to wipe you off, that want to completely wipe you out and exterminate you. So why don't you, Israel, help us appease these guys who want to completely exterminate you? And they're like, we kind of remember when people tried to appease the guys who wanted to exterminate us. That got millions of us killed. So how about no? How about no?
You know what the same United Nations or its predecessor was doing during the Second World War, when the Nazis were going around trying to round up the Jews and oppress them? They were saying, oh, maybe we should avoid war, and we should just look for a peaceful solution. We should look for a peaceful resolution.
Yeah, guys, peaceful. They wanted peaceful resolution to avoid conflict with a genocidal maniac. How often historically does that work? You make some concessions to the genocidal maniac and hope that he'll be satisfied with that. And he'll say, oh, at first I wanted to just completely take over massive parts of the world and exterminate all kinds of different groups and so on. But, after these guys started giving me what I want, now my heart has melted and I've warmed up to everyone. And now I no longer want to conquer the world and destroy everyone in my path. And so I don't want to do that anymore. It doesn't work, guys. If someone's a genocidal maniac, you don't give him an inch at all, ever. And you make him understand there will be massive consequences if he ever tries to put his plans into action.
Yeah. And you know what happened when the Nazis refused to give a crap about the League of Nations? The League of Nations became completely irrelevant, and the world plunged into the Second World War. And during that entire process, the Nazis killed 6 million Jews and many other people, including Polish people, Czech people, Roma, and so on. Not this time, man. Not this time. Not this time. Here you can have the opinion of the so-called Palestinians when it comes to a peaceful two-state solution. I find this very, very funny. They say, why don't you just give them their own state? First off, Israel tried. And in my opinion, Israel should have never offered any such thing. But then again, Israel was still largely unfamiliar with how these people actually think. But secondly, because Israel should never be considering such a thing, because the other side, the so-called Palestinians, they don't just want to have a two-state solution and then be done with it. Here, ask them for yourself. If the Palestinian leadership is able to negotiate a two-state solution with Israel, do you think that this should be the end of the conflict, or that resistance should continue until all of historic Palestine is liberated? This poll is a joint poll by the Washington Institute and the Palestinian Center for Policy. The response in the West Bank is mostly red, which means the resistance should continue until all of historic Palestine is liberated. Even if it wasn't the majority, even if it was slightly less than the majority, even if it was just half of people saying this. Why in the world would you even consider making concessions and giving land and recognition to people who, to such a large extent, say, okay, yeah, that's a good goal, that's a good milestone. However, yeah, it's not enough. In the end, we want all of it. All of it belongs to us,
guys. In other words, these people are asked. So Israel can ask, hey guys, you guys say you want your own state without us interfering. You want your own sovereign nation. If we give you that, if we give you your own sovereign nation that you are then free to do with as you see fit, are we okay after that? No, we're still going to kill you. Okay, then why are we going to why are we going to do that?
Then why would we give you anything at all?
Yeah, why? Why in the name of common sense would we give you a? You're basically saying, over half of you are saying, we are still going to kill you. You give us everything we want, we're still going to kill you because we also want your entire nation. And so we want you to give us a temporary two-state solution because that will really, really help us more effectively terrorize you.
Here, Art Verse said, yeah, guys, Israel is the victim here. I don't know what you're talking about. Israel is not the victim. Precisely because Israel refuses to be the victim.
Yeah,
Israel is not the victim. Israel is not going to be the victim. Israel is going to kick their asses and eventually put them in their place so that in the end they will have nothing left. Because that's what you get when all you aspire for is to kill. That's it.
Hey, AP, you know what's weird? You know what this reminds me of? I mentioned to you earlier in an email, my brother just got parole. This is my brother John. So he got parole. So he gets out next week. I have to go pick him up and so on. But my brother John, he was the nicest one of the he just has a problem when he's on drugs. Other than that, he's like the nicest one. I was like the cold-blooded bad one. My brother Manny was the hot-headed bad one. He would flip out. He would fight 10 people, even if he's getting beaten to almost to death. He would still just be like trying to gouge people's eyes out and stuff like that. Anyway, John was the calm one. He'd get into a fight and he would get to a fight. He'd try to de-escalate. If it had to fight, he'd start hitting the guy, get him on the ground, punch him a couple times and go, okay, are we, if I let you back up, are we good? Have you had enough? And no, the guy starts fighting, so he'd hit him some more. He would keep hitting and then keep backing off and asking the guy if he's had enough. But he would keep fighting, right? The guy said, no, we're going to keep fighting. Then he would keep fighting. That's kind of like Israel, right? Like,
yeah.
Hey, if we give you what you want now, are we okay? No, we're not okay. Okay, then we got to keep fighting. Are we okay now? No, we're still not okay. We're still going to kill it. Okay, then we're going to keep fighting. There's no scenario where we're just going to let you do whatever you want to us. But anyway, that's
and it's like 10 times worse than that in this situation. That's what happens. And here's, by the way, Gaza's response. Here's West Bank. Here is Gaza. The West Bank is even more radical than Gaza in terms of wanting to eventually have all of the land. The West Bank is a ticking time bomb. Don't say people didn't warn about it. The very same place that is living a good life, as we have just seen.
And you're pointing out, I mean, you're dealing with majorities there. So, guys, you're talking about majority populations who say, we want our own state, but if you give us our own state, we are still coming after you. And we're just going to be able to do it even better and more effectively if we have our own state. So please give us our own state that we can use for endless perpetual war against you until we take everything, right? But as your point, so you're talking about majority of the populations. Even if it was just a significant minority, you are kind of already pointing this out. What if it was less? Guys, what if it was 20 or 30% of the population that said, yeah, you can give us every single thing we want as far as this area is concerned. We're still going to terrorize you. We've seen, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen in the West, you can have a tiny, tiny fraction of the population that wants to terrorize people, and they could do massive amounts of damage. A couple of terrorists can take down a building or blow up a train or something like that. You're talking about over half the population wants to wipe you out. And you're saying, let's make sure we do everything to make these guys as happy and comfortable as possible while they're coming to slaughter everyone in this other nation. And you're bad if you don't go along with it.
Precisely.
Hey, Captain Zabiba. That should be an Islamic superhero, Captain Zabiba.
Yeah, here you have the guy with the filthy mark on his head, the filthy guy who looks like an animal, talks like an animal, lives like an animal, sounds like an animal, and has a spot on his forehead because he wants to rub his head on the ground all the time so that people can see it. Let him talk about it. This is Hamas representative here.
إسرائيل دولة لا مقام لها على أرضنا. إحنا الدولة لابد أن نزيلها لأنه بالفعل هي
We must remove that country.
تعتبر كارثة أمنية وعسكرية وسياسية للأمة العربية والإسلامية، يجب أن تنتهي. لذلك احنا لا نخجل من نقول ذلك بكل قوة، إنه إسرائيل لازم نأدبها وحنأدبها مرة ثانية وثالثة، ومش هذا حتكون طوفان الأقصى أول مرة، لا
Al-Aqsa flood is October 7. He says it was just the first time. There will be a second, a third, a fourth.
وثالث ورابعة، لأنه احنا لدينا إصرار ولدينا قرار ولدينا إمكانيات أن نقاتل ونحارب، لكن كما قلت لك بدنا ندفع ثمن. نعم احنا مستعدين. معلش بدي أقول لك بشكل واضح، احنا اسمنا شعب الشهداء.
Look at this. He says we are called a nation of martyrs, and we are proud to sacrifice martyrs.
And by martyrs we mean all the women and children that we hide behind.
على أرضنا. احنا
That's what he says. There should be more to this clip where he says, oh, that's another part where he says, we will do it again and again and again. October 7th, there will be more October 7th. There will be 1,000 October 7th. Of course, that didn't go as planned. The leadership of Hamas is basically dead. Hamas is more than half of their combatants are by now dead. Gladly so. There should not be more October 7th. This guy is saying we will do more and more and more, and we'll teach Israel a lesson. There will be more October 7th. This was only the first time. There will be second, the fourth, and so on. We will destroy Israel in the end, this guy says. Why in the world would Israel put up with this? Why in the world would Israel listen to your college kids, to your Western nations, to the United Nations, and say, okay, well, if they pressure us a little bit too much, I guess we'll have to just make peace with Hamas and allow them the opportunity to prepare for the next attack. Whatever, we don't really care about our own population anyway. No, Israel is not like that. Get the hell out of here. There isn't going to be no more October 7th. No more October 7th. Asmongold was also right about the fact that Islam is hostile and oppressive against others. For example, in chapter 9, verse 29, it says, fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day, nor comply with what Allah and his messenger have forbidden, nor embrace the religion of truth, meaning Islam, from among those who were given the scripture, meaning Jews and Christians. So if Jews and Christians don't accept Islam, fight them as well. Until they pay the it says taxia, that means jizya, willingly, submitting, fully humbled. This is a command to fight the Jews and the Christians and those who will not adopt the religion of Islam, so who will not convert to Islam, to fight them and subjugate them and force them to pay jizya, which is protection money. If they fail to pay it, they shall be killed. This is Islam. It's directly part of Islam. It's Islamic history. In fact, you have here a wonderful person, a wonderful Muslim apologist, wonderful Muslim preacher, peacefully pointing out how much he believes in this.
If you ally with the disbelievers in any wajh min al-awjuh, any way, shape or form, if you ally with the disbelievers, you're a disbeliever. You're a disbeliever because you're allying yourself with a disbelieving nation who believe in kufr and shirk.
The disbelievers who are a'da, the enemy is disbelievers.
The Sharia come first. Islam come first. No doubt about it in my mind. No doubt about it. 100%. Yeah, no doubt about it in my mind. I will say, can you understand why people want to say to you, then get it?
Talking about establishing Islam, and I think that's our jihad. To be honest, for us Muslims living in the West,
yes,
our jihad is to establish the deen of Allah through all means necessary.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Did you hear that? Through all means necessary.
He led what would be considered, in a sense, a war cult, a death cult, and that he spread Islam in this way.
Islam is a warrior religion in many ways, and it's unapologetically so. It's about expansion. It's about
but when you fight them, they start crying.
What do you? It's a victim mentality cult.
Yeah,
it's a cult of perpetual victims unless they get what they want. It's pathetic.
If it was really a warrior religion, it wouldn't start crying once they are fought.
Yeah, like, guys. I mean, seriously, what real warriors do you see? What warriors? I mean, serious warriors, right? Like, think about a warrior in a boxing match or something like this. He goes out, he swings, and then he gets hit. Referee hit me. Ref, where's the United Nations? Where's the United Nations? He hit me. I was trying to hit him, but he hit me. I don't want him to hit me. I want the entire world. I want the United Nations to go and hold that guy's arms behind his back so I can hit him. I don't like it when he can hit me. I don't like it when people can hit me. Ah! That's a warrior.
Why is nobody helping
That's a warrior.
This is Islam. This is Islam. You act like a warrior until an actual war starts, and then like, wait a minute, wait, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
Dude, he needs to correct that. It's not. There's a difference between a warrior and a bully, right?
Yeah,
it's a bully religion, because that is true of lots of bullies. They go around, until you punch them in the mouth, and they go, "Whoa, what are you doing, man? Come on, ceasefire!"
I wasn't ready, man. I wasn't ready. It's not fair.
Conquest and so on.
So keep fighting the Christians and Jews until they give jizya. So it's compelling them to give jizya. This shows you clearly that it's about forcing people to become Muslim.
Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Forcing people to become Muslim. He just directly referenced the very verse that I just brought up, of fighting the disbelievers, the Jews and Christians, until they are subjugated and they pay the jizya. He interprets it in the traditional way as it is interpreted as well, and clearly read. It is to force them to pay protection money and humiliate them, and then thereby compelling them or forcing them to convert to Islam.
Reason why.
Oh, by the way, this is another example. Him and all his followers who would watch him, you could actually observe this. You can play a clip of him saying, "It's a warrior religion, and of course we're going to compel them to pay us. This is a way of forcing them to convert to Islam, you see." And you could play that for his followers, and they go, "Alhamdulillah, yes, this is the truth. He preaches the truth." I could say the exact same thing, word for word, about Islam, and they will go, "Oh, look at this Islamophobe lying about it. He's lying and attacking a beautiful, peaceful religion." It's like, what? It just amazes me. You can line up all these different Islamic preachers and all these terrorists and so on, have them say exactly what Islam teaches. Their fans will cheer for them. If I say the exact same thing about Islam, word for word, they'll claim that I'm attacking their religion, and shame on me, and they're the victims here, and I'm an Islamophobe and a bigot for saying the exact same thing. How do I know? Because I've been doing this for years. I can quote what the Quran says, or what a tafsir says, or something like that. I can quote exactly what it says, and they'll cry like babies and say I'm being mean for saying exactly what's in their sources. But when their guys say it and shout it from the rooftops, it's you see, this is the strength and power of our religion.
That's what they do.
Pathetic, guys. It's like a giant joke. This would be hilarious if this were a movie or something. This would be a comedy. It would be one of the most epic comedies of all time. The problem is these guys actually want to rape and kill and slaughter and everything else, and it makes it not funny.
You have to fight them is because they are Jews and Christians.
Oh, it's
So what you say?
You have to people to become Muslim. Reason why you have to fight them is because they are Jews and Christians.
Oh, it's martyrdom. The idea of shuhada, shaheed in Islam, bro. It's the idea of shaheed is we celebrate the ones who have been killed, who've been martyred.
In this restaurant, nice restaurant, we celebrate while we sit here eating fancy food. We celebrate the martyrs. Other martyrs, not us. Other martyrs. We're not martyrs. Yeah. But the people who are actually laying down their lives so that we can sit here feasting like kings. We celebrate that. We celebrate their sacrifice. Dude, hey, quick question. How is hijab any different from the leaders of Hamas who rake in endless trunks of money for being the leaders of the terrorists, for promoting it, for promoting other people to be martyred while they live like kings? How is he any different?
No different at all. He lives his life and wants the so-called Palestinians to just go and die. That's it.
We believe that life begins at death. We don't care about death. We love death.
That's something that you say when you're in the UK. You say, we're proud of it. We love death. We love death. But you live your life there. Meanwhile, people over there are actually dying because of you.
Pierce should have had that pulled up, and every time, what about all the deaths? And wait a minute, you said you love it. You said you love it. Here's the clip. Why'd you say you love it? Now you're complaining about it. Why when you're among Muslims, you say, we love death, we love martyrdom, we love death, we love martyrdom. But when you're talking to non-Muslims, you go, oh, we must stop the death and martyrdom. We have to stop it. It's so evil. Why are you like that? Why do you have these two faces?
Muslim majority country, if they want Islam, then surely on democratic principles, outsiders should have nothing to do with that.
Allahumma destroy all the enemies of Islam. Allahumma destroy all the enemies of Islam. May Allah destroy them completely and show in us the great signs of Allah in their utter destruction, annihilation, humiliation.
Yeah, how is that going for you? How is that going for you? How is it looking now? How is it looking now? And finally, Prophet Muhammad, the pedophile, has been quoted as saying the following. So, okay, it said some zanadiqa were brought to Ali. It says atheists, but it's actually kind of like wrongdoers, heretics, whatever, to Ali, and he burned them. The news of this event reached Ibn Abbas, who said, if I had been in his place, I would not have burned them, as Allah's messenger forbade it, saying, do not punish anybody with Allah's punishment, fire. I would have killed them, according to the statement of Allah's messenger. Whoever changed his Islamic religion, kill him. This is the Islamic ruling. If you leave Islam, you are supposed to be killed, executed. This is also something that Islamic scholars, Islamic jurisprudence, Islamic scholarship has vastly agreed upon. This is unanimous. It is agreed upon. Muslim preachers agree on this. Today, even, they agree on this. To them, I want to say once again, as I have said before, your Islam is worth less than the poop that comes out of my dog. When my dog goes outside and empties its bowels and poops on the lawn outside, and when I collect it, those turds are better, every single one of them, than Islam. Those turds are better than the Quran. Those turds are better than Islam and than Muhammad. Those turds are better than anything Islam stands for. Islam is disgusting. Islam is sick. Islam makes me sick. And this is what I think about Islam. Here, the Quran, look.
Whoa, dude, this is going to be all over social media tonight when people clip that and show, oh no, that would have been like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was years ago when that would flip them out. Now they can't, now they know they can't stop us and no one cares if they show what we've done.
If Islam was an object, I would take it and to wipe myself with it in the morning after I take a huge thing.
Hey, you know how your people are supposed to clean up after their dogs and stuff like that? It'd be funny if you had little Quran pages for that.
I should do that. I should do that. I should indeed do that. Alhamdulillah. I should totally do that.
And you got to find a way to, you got to find a way to market them. You got to market them.
Yeah, I should start selling poop scoop Quran pages. They call them poop scoop. I should
It's pooper scoopers. Pooper scoopers.
Pooper scooper Quran pages. That's what I should have. Pooper scooper Quran verses. So let us hear this one more time here.
If you want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't get. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way.
However, I have been informed, like many others, that he made an apology video.
Again, I had no clue who this guy was till you played that first clip, but someone in the chat said he apologized from like as far as the civilians would be concerned, not as far as the jihadis, but I don't know.
I also saw that he made
a 20-minute apology.
I also saw that he made a tweet saying, looking back on it, I was way too much of an asshole about the Palestine thing. What? My bad. Of course, no one deserves to have their life destroyed, even if they do things or have views I find regressive. I'm not sure about that, man. If they're literally for genocide, I mean, I wouldn't say that they should be genocided, but
yeah, that's not just. It's not just regressive. It's not. You said, "Hey, they're a bit regressive." That's different. You were saying, "Hey, they want to exterminate the other side, and therefore,
you guys deserve more than me saying stupid like that. I'll do better." Okay, and then he has an apology video, which I will not watch fully.
20 minutes, my goodness!
I will not watch the whole thing.
20 minutes of groveling to get back his sponsors, I guess.
Oh yeah. I can't even hear what he's saying because I muted.
You all about what my reason was. Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you all about what my reason was.
Why do you have a U.S. flag in the background and not a Palestinian flag? What are those images? What are those images over on the side? Get rid of those images.
Genocide. Wait a minute. Before looking at that, actually, I want to look at this because people have been mentioning one thing, and here is XQC reacting to Hassan Piker, who also made a huge big deal about this issue. Let me see.
Like it's the same as any other kind of person. I talked to a teenager from Yemen, okay, who everyone called, myself included, called Timothy Charlemagne or Charlemagne.
That voice
is that the One Piece one?
Yeah, exactly. Now this kid is like, I think he was like 19 at the time when I talked to him, which means that for most of his life he.
Hang on.
What?
Is Hassan Piker the guy he's talking to, or that blonde-haired dude up in the corner?
No, Hassan is talking, but he's for some reason not on the screen here.
Okay, so that's the voice. Okay.
Yeah.
He has withstood genocide, right? Sure. Like he's
wait.
Which means that for most of his life, he has withstood genocide, right?
Sure.
Like he's
no.
I just want to ask a very serious question here. I know that Hassan Piker, Hassan Abi, also known as, seems to have a lot of fans, and the primary reason why he has a lot of fans is that people are retarded. It's not because he actually says anything interesting or anything good. The primary reason why Hassan Piker has so many fans is because people are retarded. And I just want to point out one thing here. He just talked about a Houthi guy from Yemen, and who, by the way, is a Houthi participating or fan guy, whatever it is, and people called him out on that for supporting a terrorist and so on. Now Hassan is describing that kid as somebody who withstood genocide for most of his life. I just want to ask, what genocide? What genocide exactly? The guy's from Yemen. What genocide? What genocide are we talking about? What genocide are we talking about? Can somebody explain to me what genocide we're talking about here? Which genocide is he referring to? What freaking genocide?
He is a person whose only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically. Okay.
I will reserve my reaction to this.
Why? It's completely identical in every way. AP.
Okay, being able to talk to Anne Frank in real time. That's all he's known is death and
Why?
Destruction.
Why is this guy known a bunch of death and destruction?
His home.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
With
but he's
American
not getting killed by gay people. Like if
we're gonna,
I don't care about this guy's reaction. So this guy, he's being bashed for literally for hosting a terrorist advocate who also made posts on Twitter, including things like these, for example. Let me put this on the screen here. Let me put this on the screen directly. What this kind of stuff that this guy posted in the past. Let me put this on the screen here, right here, right here. Let me put this on the screen here. As soon as I find it, let me see. Let me see. Oh yeah, right here, right here, right there. There we have it. There we have it. There we have it. Here. This guy here, Rashid Al-Haddad. He posted this, saying the execution that we will carry out on all Zionists. This is what he posted. This is the kind of stuff that he posted. David, are you seeing this? This is the guy that we're talking about. He posts this image and says the execution that we will carry out on all Zionists.
Yeah, see, they said Zionists, not just Jews, AP.
Don't worry, man. Just says Zionists, not Jews. Everything is fine then. When we say Zionists, first off, let's point out one thing. When people like this say Zionists, what they mean is Jews. Okay, 90% of people, when they say Zionists nowadays, they mean Jews. Secondly, the vast majority of Jews are Zionists because Zionism simply is the establishment of a Jewish homeland in that region known as Israel. The majority of Jews, the vast majority of Jews support this. And then, of course, you have lots of non-Jews around the world supporting it. I think it's probably the numbers are that that most Zionists are not even Jews, that there are more non-Jewish Zionists than Jewish Zionists. So this would include killing the Zionists and then all those others as well, for example. Imagine posting something like this about this is what we will do to all Palestinians. Would that be fine? Would that be okay? This is what we will do to all those who want a Palestinian state. Would that be fine? Would that be totally acceptable? Would that be totally okay? Tell me what's the difference? What is the freaking difference? Stuff like this is acceptable nowadays. This is okay. Suddenly, it is the leftist people who, together with the Islamists, made it okay to advocate for the killing of Jews and anyone who wants safety for the Jews. This is nowadays coming from the left. And the funny thing is that what people don't realize, or what this guy doesn't realize, apparently, it's not really that big, but things like these are what certain people in Eastern Europe, like in Romania, what they did to Muslim invaders. Maybe you should take that into consideration next time. This is what they did to the Ottoman soldiers that were invading. Maybe you should take that into consideration. But of course, it's totally acceptable to say stuff like this about Jews. And then this guy actually goes ahead and compares this terrorist, this little, worthless, filthy, slimy, little terrorist to Anne Frank. Anne Frank, who did nothing of the sort. She was simply a regular Jewish child in the Netherlands who hid in her apartment when the Nazis were going around and rounding up the Jews and killing them, sending them on death marches, sending them to concentration camps, and killing them, massacring them. A little girl who is now famous because she wrote a diary in which she detailed everything, in which she had so many good thoughts, in which she naively still talked about the inherent goodness in humans and how everything will be fine one day and so on. In the end, she was killed. She died. Her father survived and published her diary. And this guy, Hassan, seriously compares this terrorist kid to Anne Frank. Anne Frank is worth more than all of you pro-Palestine terrorist supporters combined. Okay. When she went to the toilet, what came out of her is worth more than Houthi terrorists, than Hamas, than the PLO, than Hezbollah, than the Islamic regime of Iran, and so on. That's what.
I have to say, AP, there would be a pretty
Franks. If the whole world was full of Anne Franks, and if all your terrorists were gone, the world would be a better place. You people are filthy, terrorist-supporting pieces of shit.
What's wrong with you? I have to say, there would be a tremendous difference in how we remember Anne Frank if the situation had been different and Anne Frank just grew up saying, "We will destroy all the Germans. We will murder all the Germans. We will kill them all. We must kill them all." And the Germans stopped her, and then that was it.
Yeah,
that'd be a really different situation.
Yes, that's true.
And if we had the diary of Anne Frank and we opened it up and it was all like, "We will kill them, we will exterminate them, the Germans will be hiding behind rocks and trees until we, the Jews, exterminate every last one of them," and the Germans are like, "No, we can't let you do that," and she's like, "Why you won't let me exterminate you? Oh, I'm the victim here, I'm the victim." I think we'd remember her very, very differently.
Here's a little Nazi boy. Get the hell out of here. I'm not even going to engage with you. Go cry after your Nazi leaders. Maybe you should do what Hitler did in the end.
I'm gonna go tell Nick Fuentes what you just said. I will tell him.
My plans are going forward. I'm going to try and structure this video into two parts, where the first part is going to be me talking about the Twitch suspension. Second part is going to be talking about myself. And the first thing I want to start off with is something that I know it might sound a little bit insincere because of how ridiculous this is, but I really mean it. And if you listen to the whole video, I hope you can see why. Everybody who's come and spoken out and talked to me and said stuff about me, aside from the, "Oh, you should kill yourself" or something like that, I want to say that I really appreciate you. And I think this has been something that's a long time coming. And I actually think that this is something that not only I deserved, but it's also something that I needed. And I want to talk about what the reason for that is. But
wait, what?
I needed this.
That sounds very weird. He said, "I needed this" after talking about those people who told him to kill himself. Is that what he said?
But I want to start off and just make sure that that's actually very clear. So a couple of days ago, I made some comments about Palestine and also about Hamas and, some just general,
and other freedom fighters
that were trivializing the genocide that's happening there. And
you know what? I lost all interest right now at this point.
Yeah, it's like an apology script was written for him by the protesters or something. It's like whoever's in control of anything, they said, okay, we're going to send you a list of things that you need to say in order for you to get reinstated and for us to continue promoting you having us. I mean, you promoting stuff, our products, and so on.
You know what the big irony here is? There have been this entire time for a year now. These people have been going around saying, "Oh, you can't say anything about Israel. You can't say anything against Jews. You can't say anything about Israel. They will pressure you and they will cancel you and they will do this and this and that to you, and you will have to be forced to apologize. You will lose your job." And so far, this is happening to those people who say a mean word about the so-called Palestinians. Here you have an example.
I don't really want to like mince words or like try to like, oh, I wasn't justifying or, you know, promoting it. I said something about it that was disgusting. I said that I didn't care about innocent people getting killed by another force, by anything.
That's not even what you
That's
said.
not what you said. You didn't say, I don't care about innocent people getting killed. You said, I don't care if people who want to genocide the other side get killed. That's what you said.
I mean, the worst thing that you can do when you apologize for what you did is to admit to something that you never did.
Want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that.
See, that's not what he said.
And I think that that's a horrible, disgusting, mean-spirited thing to say. And I don't necessarily think that it was really racist, really. But when I'm using language like Palestinians or like the people there, rather than what my real language was, I've always been very outspoken and very against religious extremism. And I still am. I think that any religion and any
unless it's Islam, which is my new favorite thing in the world, and I'm going to convert just to show you all.
Gay people, women, people with disabilities, anything like that. I think that that's a really bad position to have, and I really don't like that. And I think that my problem and my fault here was that I was making a criticism of religious extremism, and I made no effort. And I feel like almost I've rewatched the clip, right, or a number of the clips, and it's like I've almost made an effort not to draw a distinction between the two things. I think that a lot of us here can easily say that we're against religious
dislike button used.
Extremism, and I am. But whenever I categorize everybody in the area as this like group, then I'm the asshole, and I was the asshole. I had a lot of you guys tell me that, and
that's not what you did. That's not what you did. You are such an idiot and such a pathetic weakling, such a spineless, pathetic little weakling. Such a spineless, pathetic little weakling that you don't have the guts to stand by maybe the one thing that you actually said that was good. That was honest. You went out of the line of sheepishness, of the regular leftist, progressivist sheepishness once. And as soon as the backlash came, you decided to apologize and to get back in line, to be another sheep again, and to apologize for things you never even said. What a weak.
It's taken me. This is what's.
What a pathetic loser. What a pathetic, weak little loser.
So crazy about it is that I think this has been going on now for like 2 years. I think that I've been slowly devolving into the most mean-spirited, I don't really even know what the word is for it. Just like the most mean-spirited, rude, like nasty,
coward,
like just callous, psychopathic version of myself. I think that I've been devolving into this.
Oh, hey, he's claiming to be a dissocial psychopath. We keep talking about that. I think everyone needs to understand the dissocial psychopath, but that's not what you are, dude. You're just a sniveling crybaby.
You know what you did, dear, what's his name again? Zach something. What you actually did was you started getting honest about yourself and about how you feel.
And you found out that's not allowed.
but you found out that that's a little bit uncomfortable. So now you're backtracking because you're a little pathetic weakling. Brother.
Told me this. My dad has told me this. He said, you've got to chill out. You've got to calm down. I've been like, oh, that old man doesn't know what he's talking about. And I've finally had some level of accountability for that. And thank God. I look back at some of the things that I've said and done over the past 2 years, and I don't think that I've been wrong about everything, obviously, right? But there have been ways that I've communicated and ways that I've...
Yes, I also found out that in the past he did this thing, like he said, I will never apologize for anything. I will never, I want to make it clear that I will never, ever be pressured to apologize for anything I say. And here he is, apologizing on Twitter and then making a 20-minute video apologizing. Probably because it's bad for business.
I've acted that are indefensible. And I think it's, looking back on it, it's just disgusting. And it's something that when you get lost in the sauce and you get fixated around like listening and reading feedback and, you know, just getting hyper fixated, this is like...
I wonder, not sure if this guy will ever hear this, but I just have one question. I really wonder if you feel good about yourself and feel comfortable with yourself after selling yourself out, after being dishonest and apologizing for how you really feel and how you really think for approval or for money. Does it feel good? Please turn around and ask yourself, does it feel good? Is this really who I want to be? Do I want to be a pathetic little weakling who sells out and who hides his true feelings?
Turn around, every now and then I feel a little bit weaker, so I grovel all night. Turn around, weakling. Every now and then I'm such a coward.
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Imbeciles.
Absolutely terrible.
How about you get us on your knees?
What else?
Look, guys, look at my video. You'll notice I've got a lot of stuffed animals. You know what you don't notice? Balls. I have 0 balls. You don't see a ball anywhere in this room because there isn't one. Not one.
Lose faith. I tell
Let
you.
alone
lose
2.
faith. It's better for you.
He's being more slippery than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop. You're finished already. Look at me. Look at me. You know you're done.
Yeah. This is terrible, man.
Quiet, man.
You're sick. You are sick.
Alhamdulillah.
Your entire life, you lose a perspective on reality and you lose a perspective on the world. And I think that perspective was brought into perspective yesterday and the day before when I was making comments like this. And I feel...
Why stuttering?
It was 20 minutes? Is it seriously 20 minutes of this?
So
This is so dumb. It's so boring, and I lost all interest. I wish I could dislike 50,000 times here, but this is enough.
So then when I was 7, I was treated horribly. And this caused me psychologically to go into my own mind. Shut up, dude.
I'm sorry. I should have never said those things that I never said. I should have never said those things.
I look at Viper's comment there. Money probably spoke. In any case, this video only reinforced that terrorist threats work. And in a short time, it won't just be Europe fearing them. R.I.P. Asmongold. If that is your real name, which it isn't.
2 steps ahead, Asmongold appears from the shadow. Zach's YouTube apology. Man got cancelled for a war he's not even a part of. On the other side of the world, wild. Man. Terrible. Grow some balls, Asmongold. Agreed. Well, I don't want to watch anything else here. This is so dumb. What I want to talk about is very, very briefly, David, we actually went to, I know this is a meme, Winged Hussar. Why do you have to point this out? I know that 7 out of 10 IGN is a meme. Why do you have to point this out?
Maybe point it out for me because I have no clue what that is.
Well, you're 65 years old. That's not understandable.
True.
What?
Well,
oh, apparently there's more to this in the video, but I don't really care. He steps down from his company or something like that. So keep the company. I don't give it. I don't care. What a pathetic little loserly weakling.
This is, by the way, this is the serious problem where you have these guys who will speak out on something and then they'll face a backlash, but they don't want the backlash. So then they'll retract all their words and then no one likes them, right?
Yeah.
Because the people who cheered for you at first, oh, wow, wow, he really stood up for himself and his views there. Now they think you're a pathetic weakling. And the other side still ticked off at you for what you said, but now they know, oh, okay, we can pressure him and he'll just do whatever we want. So he's pathetic. And so they have nothing but contempt for you. So now everyone has nothing but contempt for this guy. There's no one who thinks, wow, what a really strong, based, confident, masculine, intelligent, courageous individual. There's no one who thinks that about him anymore.
That's how I think right now. I didn't know anything about this guy. I saw his response about the whole issue, and I thought, wow, okay, pretty. I mean, I don't. It goes too far even for me. But respect for saying it as you think, for speaking your mind. And then I see his apology, and now I just think, ew. I don't want to hear anything else from this guy. Never want to hear anything else from this guy. Be like Tommy Robinson. Be like Tommy Robinson. Here you have Tommy Robinson saying, imagine rewriting history to venerate this genociding meth head. F my life. And posts a clip of Hitler here.
It does look like he's tweaking there.
Yeah. This was during the Olympics. Oh, man. And then you have the comment section with Nazis blasting him. With Nazis going after him. Nazis going after him. Nothing worse than a subverted and self-hating. And this has been going on for months now, for half a year now, where he just posts about how pathetic and how ridiculous the Nazis are, the neo-Nazis are, and what a sick person Hitler was. And these people who really think that Tommy Robinson is their ally go after him, and he just doubles down every single time. Be like this. This is not popular right now. It's popular to hate Jews. I've been laughing about this all day for some reason. It's not even that hilarious. Here, Syrian girl said, they will kill you even if you don't fight, so you may as well fight. Visegrad said, girl, you literally live in Australia. And then John comes here and says she's talking about kangaroos. I don't know why, but I've been laughing about this for half a day now. I don't know why.
I'd seen the Visegrad response, but yeah, the John Aziz response is funny.
It's just if you visualize this. I've been watching lots of kangaroo videos lately. So anyway, I was going to talk about how we went to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. together. We met up there, walked around a little bit. It took much longer to go through the whole thing than I initially thought. I thought it would take like 2 or 3 hours or so. I think we were there for like 4 hours or so. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it would take like 35, 40 minutes because that's how it took. That's how long it took when I went there before. But you wanted to read and literally watch everything and record everything.
That's true.
So that does take up more time.
Yeah, that's I even rushed through much of the stuff. It's like I was walking around taking photos and videos of every single thing in there, but I even rushed through some of the things because I thought, okay, we don't have enough time. I need to get through everything. I will never be done with this. So I missed a few things, or I have some of that on camera, but I didn't really look at it yet. I have lots of footage.
Yeah, you were even in the gift shop for like 35, 40 minutes. Where we did get cool Talmud posters.
Wait. So we were at the gift shop, and David comes up to me as we were there, and he says, "Hey, they have."
I said they got Surah 532 on a sign over there.
and I'm like, what? Are you serious? And he's like, come over here, check it. So I go over there. I walk over there, and I seriously think they have Surah 5 verse 32 on there, which says, what does it say, David?
If anyone kills a man, it's as if he's killed all mankind.
Yeah, and then he shows me what they actually have, and it's actually this here. It's this poster, and the poster says, whoever destroys a single life destroys the entire world. Whoever saves a single life saves the world entire. Talmud.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the joke here is that the Quran stole this from the Talmud, while claiming that this is what Allah told the Jews. So, got me good. What we also saw there was a bracelet that said coexist in the merch shop.
With the crescent. Yeah, we had to get like 10 of those each.
Yeah. I thought, oh yeah, this is the solution, man. We got to have coexistence with the Muslims, with Islam. This is the perfect solution.
Yeah. That's why Muhammad Hijab was saying that it's good to form allies, that we should all just be allies of one another.
It says here in Quran chapter 5 verse 32, because of that we decreed upon the children of Israel that whoever kills a soul unless for a soul, look, it says, we decreed upon the children of Israel that whoever kills a soul unless for a soul or for corruption done in the land, it is as if he had slain mankind entirely, and whoever saves one, it is as if he had saved mankind entirely. And our messengers had certainly come to them with clear proofs. Then indeed many of them after that throughout the land were transgressors. It then continues in the next verse saying that whoever fights Allah and his messenger deserves to be killed and crucified and have their limbs cut off and so on. But it says here that Allah decreed upon the children of Israel this command, which is on here, which however was not revealed to the Jews in the Torah or anything. It's literally something that the rabbis said and wrote in the Talmud. So the Quran steals, plagiarizes from the rabbis, and then makes it look like this is what Allah said to the Jews. What apparently happened here is that Muhammad heard this phrase from Jews, and he thought, I guess that's what their God told them. Let me put this in the Quran.
And it's very interesting because in the Talmud, it makes sense. The reasoning is clear. In the Quran, it makes no sense, right? Because it starts with the story of Cain and Abel. Cain kills Abel. And then it says a bird had to show up and teach Cain how to bury someone. And then it says, because of this, we ordained for the children of Israel, if anyone killed a man, it's as if he's killed all mankind. But you're like, what does that have to do with it? One guy kills another. Therefore, you ordain that if anyone kills a man, it's as if he's killed all mankind. I do not get that. Lots of people have killed each other. How are you getting that lesson? How are you drawing that lesson? They're missing the explanation. In the Talmud, it's also the story of Cain and Abel. But the rabbi points out that the word that's used when God says your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground, it's actually plural, bloods. And he says, so this sounds like God is saying it's not just your blood, it's the blood of all your future descendants. And therefore, if you kill a man, it's as if you're killing all future generations because you just stopped all future generations that would have come from that person. And so they actually explain the reasoning. They explain what the connection is between the story of Cain and Abel and this lesson. The Quran doesn't get the point about the bloods. And it just says story of Cain and Abel, therefore, and it gives the lesson and no connection between the two. And so it's just weird that the perfectly clear Quran is completely incomprehensible. If you just read it in the Quran, you could read it 1 trillion times. You would never have any clue how this claim followed from what just happened. In the Talmud, it's perfectly clear what the reasoning is. So weird stuff. Weird stuff that the perfectly clear Quran is always, always, always hopelessly unclear. And you would not be, it's a situation where you would not be able to understand the reasoning in the Quran unless you knew where the Quran stole that from.
It makes perfect sense. You're just being completely Islamophobic, and it just shows that you are Islamophobic. That's what happens. They put one of the things that Hitler said on one of the walls inside the museum. I want to go through all of the stuff in a different live stream. I think I will just change this one here into was Asmongold right or not? I want to look at all that stuff on a different one. However, here is a quote which is a very, very well-known one. It's also there's also video footage of it where Hitler literally prophesies the annihilation, extermination of Jews in 1939.
Where's the real picture?
Of course, David had to be funny about this, although we are in the middle of a Holocaust museum, and had to say, "Hey, step over there. Let's take a photo with you," pointing at the word prophet. I don't have it here now.
Yeah, trying to cover it up.
I don't have it here now. I don't know where it is. Can't find it.
That should be that's your first initial and your last name. Prophet. It's got you right there. Prophet.
A prophet. I should take this and change it into apostate prophet.
Just add a little period there.
Yeah, a prophet. However, here Hitler says, "Today I will once more be a prophet. If the international Jewish financiers in and outside Europe should succeed in plunging the nations once more into a world war, then the result will not be the Bolshevizing of the earth and thus the victory of Jewry, but the annihilation of the Jewish race in Europe." This is what he was saying already as the Nazis were rounding up and putting Jews into camps and putting them on death marches and so on. But right after this, right after saying that it's the Jews who are funding these wars and so on, he declared war against Poland and invaded Poland, which to him was clear would be a declaration of war and a reason for Britain and France to also get into the war and start a major world war. He was planning on doing precisely that when he made this so-called prophecy. He made this months before invading Poland and starting the world war. And then they started massacring the Jews completely, brutally, especially in Poland, which had a huge Jewish population, a thriving Jewish population. And you know what? During the Second World War, during the Holocaust, Hitler and Goebbels and the main Nazi guys were also claiming that they just want peace, and they don't want this to happen. It's just the Jews forcing them to do this kind of stuff. The Jews are forcing them to eradicate them. The Jews are oppressing Europe and forcing Europe to find a solution, the final solution. It pretty much sounds like what Hamas argues nowadays. No sympathy for those who approve of genocide. No sympathy for those who approve of the killing of Jews. Hendor, did you see the Jews are coming skit about October 7th? I didn't see it. Nope. Gotta check that out. Being late is gay. You were not late, just timing the pagers. This is true. I sent out a bunch of new pagers to Hezbollah members. You know who don't come in late? Goats. That one Jewish girl said, AP, do that Indian accent EA talks about. What are you talking about? I don't know. Ayatollah Khamenei has some crypto Islamic mod named Gididella banned a loyal cult member named Pat the Milkman. Can you unban him, please? No, I can't. I will check it out. Apo Baker, Al Puff Daddy, hope that AP and David Wood can review a video of Jason Jones of Vulnerable People Project. He does humanitarian work in Gaza, but is highly critical of IDF. Who? Jason Jones. Jason Jones.
Name sounds made up.
That sounds like something you name somebody that you don't know who that is.
It sounds like a comic book character's name, like Clark Kent, Peter Parker, Jason Jones.
I thought it sounded like John Doe. I'll check it out. We'll check it out. Answering LSD says, have you seen the Sam Dyer Daniel Kikachu debate? Absolute sicko for bringing up Sam's family. Are you sleeping, man?
What planet are you from? Answering LDS.
Do you live under a rock? Are you on LSD? We did that like centuries ago. Hey, Endor, did you see the Jews are coming? I'll check it out, inshallah. How do you say that? Hayehudim Atayim, something like Vayim. I don't know. GoType, he got banned off of Twitch for this when he got half naked to fully naked women shaking it on camera being promoted. Shameful. Yeah, terrible. Fatward, isn't Cenk's nephew on Twitch? He is. The terrorist sympathizers on Twitch. Carlos Menem, they are force moving and blocking a full city. Yeah. Do you guys know a good way to reach Cameron capturing Christianity? I was working on comparing Islam to Mormonism already and would love to send him my work since I don't make videos. Doesn't he have contact info on his page? On his channel?
Contact him on like Twitter or something.
Alhamdulillah. Telegraph, they don't have the means, but they sure have the meaning. That's true. To kill the Jews. That's what they want to do. Godlike Snake. AP, it's cool to hear you played Command and Conquer General. Some of the GLA units terrorist bomb track have some codes that would not fly today. Really? Maybe I should go back and look at that. Face the Facts Bingo would. Noam MKW said, AP, you should cover Wild West Bank deleted scene. It shows perfectly what Ramallah is all about. 5-minute clip. Wild West Bank deleted scene. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. Apostate Gaming, free PlayStation. Jason Allen, this is the spare the rod, spoil the child culture. Alhamdulillah. Deborah Leonelli, this is where Ta-Nehisi Coates visited. I don't know who that is. I just know that he recently went viral for saying that if he grew up in Palestine, he would have also committed terrorist attacks or something like that. I don't know. Don't know who that is or what he exactly said. Hobocop Pro Palestine has an interesting lineup. There are LGBT feminists, but there's also Andrew Tate. There are anti-CO2 clean guys, but there's also Mojab. I know it's just a ridiculous project, a ridiculous idea. It's like it's an entire system of propaganda, a scam set up for those people who are either very dumb or who want to jump on the latest grift. That's it. With people with no standards, or people who are very dumb, or people who are on their side, like the Islamists.
It's pretty much everyone who wants to disrupt the world.
Yeah.
And wants chaos for some reason because they think that they will triumph in the end if they can just if they can just destroy every stronghold that is holding up society, then they will somehow win, whether that's their communist vision or their Islamic vision or whatever.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Karen Nair, Biden, Harris, and the world believe Israel is holding up aid, food, and the ability to evacuate when it's Hamas. Yeah. It's such an upside down world nowadays. They were saying that the Gazans are being treated like animals, like non-humans, and so on. The Gazans were getting all their needs. They were getting enough food every day. They were getting so much financing. They were taken care of whenever they had serious needs. They had the means to take care of themselves despite not working. They were a population where half the population didn't work, but they still had good living standards, better than half the world. For an ideological, religious cause, they once again were not satisfied and went with the idea of Hamas to start another war to kill the Jews and destroy Israel. And now we are supposed to have sympathy. Based autistic, Hassan Piker literally had a Houthi terrorist on his live stream talking about capturing ships, and he wasn't banned. Hassan was calling the Houthi a hero. I know this is just. If after this whole year people still want to argue that Jews are controlling things, then they must have a complete problem, or maybe they are controlling everything. Handor search never again, all over again. 3-minute video. I shall.
You should. That's shekels right there, man.
Yeah, only because it's shekels. Otherwise, I would not search.
That's legitimate shekels.
If somebody else did it, I would not search, but it's shekels, so I have to search. We'll look at that later. Fakes to facts. Viva to the caliphate. Viva Colombia supporters. Alhamdulillah. Islam these nuts, said Apostate Gaming. That's very, very rude. And Islamophobia.
What do you mean when you log on to my live streams? Your account name is literally Allah these nuts.
That's true. That's true. I said it to all of these nuts one day and then didn't change it. All of these nuts.
All of these nuts, all of these kissing. You don't know what you've been a missing. Oh boy, oh boy.
All of these nuts. Telegraph, the Karga tree is a disclaimer. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Progenetus 232, been watching videos of ancient megaliths. There is a probability that these kinds of people unalive the advanced ancient civilizations. We are next. Yep, totally. It's aliens and stuff. Aliens. They was aliens on here and they did everything and all that. David, what do you think about this fact?
No idea.
Oh, interesting. The RFB 333 said, I want to go to DC with you guys. Check your emails. I don't have Twitter, but Ezra's Rabbit and I want to meet you in DC. Hilton's got the dealio. Long live King Harold the Cricket. The bad thing.
A couple days late.
The bad thing is that we already went. This was kind of. I abruptly made the plan just days ahead of going there.
For the record, it's good to abruptly make the plan. You don't want to announce it. Hey, everyone, here's where we'll be at 12 o'clock noon on Monday in case anyone wants to meet up or do anything else to us.
I did say, though, that we're going to go to the museum.
Yeah.
That we're going to
that's
go
the point.
there.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Quick stuff. You don't want to give like serious notice.
But I even said I'm heading. No, I'm going to travel now. We're going to DC to the Holocaust Museum. And I even said, so if jihadis want to do something, I'll be there. But nobody came.
I'll be there.
And what does this tell you, David? What does it tell you? The fact that we went there and came back alive?
That jihadis are actually scared of us.
And that Islam is false.
Mm-hmm. And weak.
This is the proof. It's the proof. It's the proof. Jihadis are finished. You're finished.
You're finished already. Look at me. Look at me. You know you're done. What kind of Muslim are you?
Songs of Relief said a warrior religion, 1 Kings 20:11. David, what does it say? You know everything from memory in the Bible.
Not 1 Kings 20:11.
Don't you have it all memorized?
No.
Oh. The king of Israel countered, think about it, it's easier to start a fight than end one. In your face. In your face. Wait, what? Why do I get different versions of this? The king of Israel answered, tell him one who puts on his armor should not boast like one who takes it off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was just looking at the meaning of it. That's funny. I have no idea how that happened. FWTC smiley face. Other nations gets attacked, then strikes back against the terrorists. UN, this is fine. Israel gets attacked, then strikes back against the terrorists. UN, how dare you? You stole my childhood. My childhood with your empty words. How dare you? Yeah, quickly again to RFB. Sorry, we've been... it's a bit too late. Hope that in the future when we do something like this, we can announce it for everyone so that we can also have terrorists join us and all that, and also fans join us. That would be very nice. Unfortunately, this time it was too late. One person still joined us somehow. Not sure how that happened.
He messaged us.
Yeah.
He was on the ball. He was on the ball. And then other people recognized us when we were inside there. But apparently, Washington, D.C. got notice that AP and the Dizzle were showing up because there were soldiers all around that. There were police officers all around the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah.
So they knew we were showing up.
They knew we was coming. Islamist Cantor said W. That sounds like a W. Asa said, you just play that voice. I was asking about it. The something was Zulu sound. The something was Zulu sound you're referring to is Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
What's funny is it doesn't sound at all like Wazulu to me, unless I'm reading it and then listening to it, and then it does sound like Wazulu.
Wait a minute. So... Wait.
Zulu. See, it does.
Yeah. It's actually Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But yeah, the guy who said this also makes it sound very, very interesting. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Zulu. That's just funny.
Skyscraper Philosopher said, invite Shadi Hamid from W Crowds Live and talk PA Iser. Who is Shadi Hamid? I can't invite somebody whose name sounds shady.
Like Shadynasty.
Yeah. Although I had Shadi Nasser on here. No disrespect to him. W Crowds Live. I should invite Shadi Nasser on again to talk about the Quran. And maybe I could have him review my Surah Shakira verse, Surah Shakira chapter, and ask him if he thinks it's better than the Quran, since he's a Quran scholar. Shadi Hamid, heard of this guy before. I don't know what he thinks and who it is. Sir Ma'am says they are weaklings. That's true. Toilet paper with Quran and Hadith, poop for poop. That's true. Sancho Panza always adore AP. Always adore APs or submarines. Sancho knows what he's talking about. That's beast. Deborah Linelli, genocide is the new woke buzzword. Seriously, it is. Absolutely, seriously, it is. Fire Screamer, genocide seems like a new Gen Z slang for boo-boo. You know, it's funny when you think about it. The same people who claim to be oppressed whenever somebody says something mean to them are nowadays those who claim that the Palestinians are genocided. They're being genocided. Their standards for genocide are very, 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 very interesting. Oh yeah, I tagged this because I wanted to say be a man. Where's that?
Ron Swanson.
What counts, man?
I don't have the be a man button here. That's ridiculous, man. Anyway, this weakling says backseat. Sarah F. Christians, please don't burn our Bible. We love you, brother. Take better care of your soul. Islam, put that Quran down, you kuffar, or else. W. Western countries must start deporting Islamists. They are too late for that. But yes, they should. They should be deporting Islamists left and right. Magnifico Giganticus says 1430 Asmongold starts talking about it again. I'll check it out. Backseat DS3 going to Asmon video now to comment, you weakling. That's what you should do.
That's a good idea.
You weakling. You're finished already. Okay, David, I remember you telling me that you need to go after 5 minutes. So let me know if you need to go. I'll just have a look at this quickly. Asmongold.
So I'm getting all these people making negative comments.
You know, this video, 1430, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Let's see.
Starts talking about what again?
I've spent a long time growing up, the time I did, I was an r/atheism enjoyer. I have a very negative opinion of a lot of religions. I've had the experience firsthand of the negative effects of Christianity and the way that I view that.
Dude, when I was making fun of him, I was like, and then he's going to be like, so then when I was 7, and like try to get sympathy from something in his background that made him say this, and here he's doing it. I have a background on Reddit atheist, and I've been persecuted by Christians my entire life. They were mean to me. They told me I had to believe in Jesus, and so I have a very negative view of religion. So, but now I understand. That if jihadis want to slaughter everyone in the name of Allah, then I can't criticize it because that would be mean.
That's okay. They can do that. They can do that. And here, I want to stick my head out just in case somebody wants to cut it off. Yeah.
A lot of very bad things about Islam. And
wait, what?
View that, and I've negative effects of Christianity, and the way that I view that, and I've always read a lot of very bad things about Islam, and I've made a lot of criticisms of it. I've talked to a lot of people about it. I've heard a lot about it, and I've been like watching things about it, and I've been like hearing people telling me this is the way it is.
Okay,
it's their fault. It's their fault. They told me all this stuff.
I actually think that after all this, I think towards the end of next year, I think I'd like to visit the Middle East and see it for myself.
Oh my goodness! This guy's he's gonna pull a sneako, man. He's gonna pull a sneako. After taking this tour of the Middle East, I've realized that everything I heard about Islam was false, and I'm now reverting and reciting my Shahada.
Here's an idea, Asmongold. If you want to do this, go to the Middle East, go to several Muslim countries. In fact, first off, forget about the Middle East. Go to Pakistan first, and do a little project where you go to people and you pretend that at some point you were a Muslim, but you are no longer a Muslim. You are now Christian, you're Christian and you are pro-Israel and you support Israel entirely and Israel's right to exist, and you think Jews are fantastic, and you don't like Islam because you think it is a morally reprehensible religion, and because Muhammad, did some messed up things and all that. Just go there, do this little project. Go there and do this little project to see how people react to it. See their reactions. See how people react to that, and have it all on camera, and then make up your mind about Islam. I am going to take that back. Please don't do it. Please, nobody, don't do that. Anybody who just took that seriously, don't do this, because you will not be able to go through the Middle East and do that. As soon as you do that in Pakistan, you will very likely be lynched and killed. Or you'll be attacked by somebody and killed. Worst case, you will be lynched and killed, or you will be locked up. You will be lynched, and then eventually the police will lock you up, and you will spend a long time in prison, and it will become an international issue. That's what's going to happen. You can try that in Pakistan. You can try that in other Muslim countries. You should probably not do that. Instead, you can maybe look at the history of speech and how Muslims react to free speech. You can look through the history of it. You can find enough examples of it if you want to look into the history of that. You can look at all the mass violence, all the lynchings in Pakistan over the last 20 years. You can look at Nigeria. You can look at how people are treated in the Middle East, the rights of women, the rights of disbelievers, and so on. You can look at all of these things. I don't know. You can go there and say, you can go to Saudi Arabia and ask for a gay club and say, hey, I'm gay.
They'll believe you. They will believe you. What?
Don't do that.
I'm just saying that would be totally believable. No.
I want to see it for a historical perspective, right? I would love to go to Istanbul in Turkey. There's no ulterior motive there at all. Right? I would love to go to Istanbul in Turkey.
That's not the Muslim world. That's where everybody can go. You will not see anything of the Muslim world there.
There's no ulterior motive there at all. But it's not just that. I'd love to visit places like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and any of the other places. I mean, the truth is that, and this is the worst thing about what I said, some of the places I would want to visit, I might not be able to because of the way that they're like just the internal strife, the actual literal wars that are going on, people being literally killed there, and I might not be able to do that. But I want to do it, and I want to see it for myself because I don't like believing what people tell me. And I think that when I do, I end up being a fool. And I want to see
I don't
it.
like believing what people tell me. I just like doing whatever people tell me, like I'm doing right now. They told me I had to have this 20-minute apology tour on YouTube.
Here's Mohammed Yusuf saying Turkey is a Muslim country. What idiots, LOL. No, look, I know that you come from a culture where you don't understand some simple, I don't know, devices when people talk. Simple rhetoric. You don't understand certain things like when I say that's not the Muslim world, LOL. I'm not meaning that it is not a Muslim country. I am saying that it is not representative of the Muslim country. Instead of commenting on this, you should probably learn to interact with people and try expanding, your understanding of words, which I know it's not very much allowed. You're pretty much limited to whatever Islam teaches you and whatever you're allowed to think in your culture, dear Muhammad Yusuf. But maybe you should try to understand what we are saying, and maybe try to understand if we are really that dumb that we don't know that Turkey is a mostly Muslim country. Okay. When I say that's not the Muslim world, what I mean is Istanbul. When you go to Istanbul, especially when you go to Istanbul as a tourist,
it's Constantinople,
you will not see much that is representative of the actual Muslim world. What you will see is actually, if you want to go to Istanbul and you want to experience the Muslim world, you could go to certain places where people actually live, in certain residential neighborhoods where the average population with an average income lives. You can live around them and you can get an introduction to an aspect of the Muslim world. And even in that case, it would be an introduction to a very secular aspect of the Muslim world. That section of the Muslim world is not as secular and free and liberal because of Islam. It is despite of Islam. It is because Turkey is a country that was established in reaction, in response to Islamism. Ataturk and his party and his people established that country in clear and explicit rejection of Islamism. They established it specifically because, fundamentally, as a country that should abandon anything Islamic and that should be a westernized nation, that instead of looking at the Arab world, should be looking at Western nations and should be catching up to Western culture and be westernized fully. Of course, that plan didn't really go very, very well. Nowadays, it is very much turning around and becoming Islamic again. But Turkey is the way it is because the fundamentals of the foundation of the Turkish Republic were Westernization, not Islamization. This is what I mean when I say it is not representative of the Muslim world. If you want a proper Muslim country, you could go, or better than Turkey, you could go to Pakistan, or you could go to some of those filthy places in the Middle East that are only now doing slightly better because they happen to have oil. Before that, they were a bunch of shitholes. Hope you understand that now. Thank you.
And I want to experience it, and I want to live my life, and I'm going to try to clean up part of my house. I'm going to try to
what
do this, and I'm not going to hire a cleaner. As I said, I was raised Roman Catholic. I view this as a penance. And I think I need to do this for myself.
Oh my God. This guy is just, wow. This guy's worse than anything I thought.
This guy is almost as weak as the Ummah. It's pretty close. It's like, who's weaker, this guy or the Ummah? I don't know, both pretty weak there.
That's the most pathetic thing I've just heard in my.
That's sort of groveling. That's what I mean, dude. Say what you mean and stand by it. Don't, hey, I'm going to jump out on this extremely controversial issue. I'm going to say something that I know for a fact is going to massively offend one side of the discussion and make the other side of the discussion cheer for what I've said. And then as soon as the one side reacts in a completely predictable manner, I'm going to backtrack, thus upsetting all the people who cheered for me and making everyone across the board understand that I am a sniveling little coward who will not stand by my convictions if anything at all is on the line.
He said, I will clean my room. I will clean my house.
I'm going to go clean my room. I'm going to make my bed. Like Jordan Peterson says, I'm going to go make my bed. I'm not going to get any help. I'm not going to hire somebody to make my bed. I'm going to go make it.
I'm going to make my own bed. I'm going to clean my house.
I'm going to put the pillows where they belong. I'm going to pull the cover back up. I'm going to straighten it all out. I'm going to straighten it all out. I'm going to make my bed. I'm going to make my bed. I vow. I will make my bed and clean my room.
Your reactions to the things I said make me want to clean my room.
Now, can I get back on Twitch?
Please, please, please. I'm just going to clean my room.
Y'all going to make me clean my room.
How many times should I clean my room? Clean your room until when you go in there, you start doing things that are good for you. So, because cleaning it isn't just organize. It's not just making sure that it's not messy, man. It's organizing it so that it's a place where your being can properly manifest itself. It's a place that should invite you to do the things that are good for you in the world. And so you should be thinking when you have a room, if you're fortunate enough to have a room, you think, okay, I want to organize this room so that the probability that I'll do the things that I know I should do is maximally heightened. You know, get yourself a good desk if you need a desk. Get yourself a good bed that you like.
You know what I find the funniest about this? He's answering a question here from somebody who is asking him how to clean his room.
Just tuned in, says Logic Bombs. How many times should I clean my room?
Are there really people out there who send Jordan Peterson a message asking him how many times they should clean their room instead of just cleaning their room? I mean, it's one thing to not clean your room, to failing to clean your room. It's another thing to clean your room. And then it's a whole other world to go online and message Jordan Peterson to ask him.
Tell me how frequently I should clean my room. Should I do it once a week? Should I do it once a month? Should I do it twice a week? How frequently? I need to know. I don't know how to do this on my own. I need you. I need your guidance on this issue.
I understand it completely if you don't want to clean your room, if you're lazy, if you fail to clean your room, and then I understand it completely if you frequently clean your room, but why in the world would you go online and ask Jordan Peterson? That's so weird. That is the weirdest thing I've heard in my entire life. W said he didn't choose the cow. That's true. Goat up. Fun fact: Asmongold is a perfect representation of what our fans look like. We need more goat. Need more goat in your life. That's true. That is very, very much true. Goat up.
Asmongold, more like Asmongoat.
Asmongold is. Oh yeah, that might be true. Asmongold might be Apostate land. Have to check that.
Oh
out.
yeah, that's funny.
Moo Joe, is he a trans man? All I can see is a cat without balls. Deborah Lindley said Tommy is the opposite of Asmon, courageous. That's a very, very, very rude way to talk about Asmon. Tesbot, funny bloke Hitler. Omar Harris, Christopher Columbus Day 2 days ago on Monday. Now new evidence came out from DNA testing. He is a Sephardic Jew from Spain, and only Israel and Spain can celebrate him. Italians can't. I saw headlines. I didn't check it out because I was traveling. Columbus Sephardic. I saw a bunch of headlines talking about how There's research that Christopher Columbus might have been Sephardic Jewish, or that he might have had Jewish Sephardic ancestry, but his name is Christopher. How does that work? I don't know.
Spanish.
I don't know.
Spanish
I gotta check that
scientists
out. Gotta check that out. David, this changes everything. If Christopher Columbus was a Sephardic Jew, then this means that the entire continent of the entire Americas are
both continents,
Jewish.
North and South America, belong to Israel now.
All belong to Israel.
You see, Israel's trying to conquer the world.
They all belong to Israel.
You see, it was the Jews who destroyed the Native Americans.
Oh man. You don't want to go down that road. Sorge was von everyone can become ham if raised in right condition. This is true. This is true. Israel will soon say, all your continent are belong to us. Village people, JJ Kosar, thank you, village people. Examples of hive minds, ants, bees, termites, and Islam. This is very Islamophobic and racist, and it's kind of nice too. Crazy Spider 17, is there an equivalent of the stone and the tree hadith for Shia Muslims and Ibadi Muslims? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
I don't know.
I think the Ibadi Muslims pretty much follow the sources of the Sahih books, aside from having their own collections. Not sure about if the Shia Muslims have similar hadiths, but even they would normally accept a hadith that is very much considered authenticated and attested to by multiple sources. They would consider it possibly reliable, and so on. Hu Jintao, free thinker, your recent stream was hilarious. AP brought up Yamama to make David laugh, but ended up laughing himself uncontrollably. By the way, Columbus was Jewish. When did I bring up Yamama? I never talked about Yamama. I don't remember this. Victor G. Christopher Columbus is now officially so far. Why are 3 super chants after each other all talking about the same thing?
Yeah, did that come up or something?
I don't understand. How did this happen? Is this just a coincidence? Christopher Columbus is now officially a Sephardic Jew. They did DNA testing, so officially the Jew is a colonizer of America. This is true. Everything belongs to Israel. Backseat DS3, Reddit atheist people, same type, crying genocide in Gaza. As far as I understand, it's a very, very stupid subreddit, but then again, I don't spend enough time on Reddit. Go top Asmongold. Backseat DS3 said, Asmon might as well go with Xinjiang. Go to Xinjiang. He should. Or to Hong Kong. Songs of Relief. Asmongold, if you are under duress, blink twice. I don't think he can blink. He has to ask for permission first. Tez, but any thoughts on UK 26th October Tommy R. rally? Can we make any difference? Re-Islamization, etc. David, what do you think?
Yeah, you can make a difference. It's just really, really messy, and you don't have enough people who've got any balls at this point. So you got to wait. I mean, you can do whatever you can now. Eventually, you'll have enough people who realize what a disaster and a mess they've created. Eventually, you'll have enough people to who don't want their future generations subjugated by people screaming Allahu Akbar. And you'll finally resist in sufficient numbers. But by that time, it's going to be a huge, bloody mess when you had year after year after year after year after year to deal with this calmly. I'm not talking about you specifically, Tezbot. I'm talking about your populations. There's a time when it's very easy to deal with small, weak problems, but you don't. And you let them become huge, massive problems. And it's just what people do.
That's what
they'll deal with something until they'll bear things until it becomes completely unbearable. But by the time they become unbearable, it's a lot harder to do something about.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Let me see. Let me quickly have a look at this here. Columbus was a Sephardic Jew from Western Europe. Study finds.
What percentage? Gotta know the percentages.
The 15th century explorer Christopher Columbus was a Sephardic Jew from Western Europe, Spanish scientists said on Saturday after using DNA analysis to tackle a centuries-old mystery. Several countries have argued over the origins and the final burial place of the divisive figure who led Spanish-funded expeditions from the 1940s onward, opening the way for the European
said
conquest of
1940s.
the Americas. Did I say 1940s?
Yeah, you think Columbus is in the 1940s. This is what happens when you have these barely literate Turkish people come over.
1490s onward. Many historians have questioned the traditional theory that Columbus came from Genoa, Italy, although theories arranged him from being a Spanish Jew or a Greek to Basco, British. Around 300,000 Jews and both. We have DNA from Columbus, very partial but sufficient. Huh. I gotta check this out. The outcome is almost absolutely reliable. Really, that's a big claim. I really need to look into the study and see what in the hell is going on here. Because if this is true, then
it changes everything.
This means pretty much that Christopher Columbus and I are pretty much the same. So.
Meanwhile, Italians are going, you see, this is part of the anti-Italian discrimination. Now they try to take Columbus from us.
First they take our pizza, and now they're trying to take Columbus.
Yeah, they love us when we make it a pizza, but then they want to take a Columbus from us.
Leave my pizza alone. Leave my pizza alone. At least leave my pizza. Leave my Columbus. What is your problem? My spaghetti and my pizza. My spaghetti. According to a different heritage test that I took, I also have Sephardic ancestry, so this means that Christopher Columbus is probably my cousin. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing this out. Look, I can show it right here. I'm not joking. Look, it says right here. Ethnicity estimate. You have 5 ethnicities and 9 genetic groups. 82%, 82.1% West Asian, 12.2% Sephardic Jewish North African, 5.7% other ethnicities. It literally says here that I have 12% Sephardic Jewish ancestry.
Whoa, North African.
12.2% Sephardic Jewish. Now everything makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Now everything makes sense. Now it all makes sense. Alhamdulillah. I don't really buy it though. So, David, anything else?
No, my Jewish friend. Well,
Alhamdulillah. Now I need to think of a new name for myself. Sephardic Jewish name.
Apostate Sephardic Jew.
The four ASP. Apostate Sephardic apostate SAP. SAP. How about SAP? SAP, man. All right. David, are we going live tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we should. And then on Friday, I have a debate.
You do?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know, because James from Modern Day Debate said he's got someone who wants to debate.
Oh, that makes sense. Apostate Columbus. Apostate Shlomo. A Jew state prophet. Welcome to the tribe, AP. You're Jewish. Reuven. Hey, that makes sense. It actually works.
Yeah, instead of Red Van.
Yeah. I should put my kippo on, but I don't have it here. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, yes. Okay, Mazel Tov, AP. Thank you. Apostate Goldberg. Reuven. I think I'm going to go with Reuven. It's official now. You can now call me Reuven from now on.
Reuven Eideberg.
Yes. Inshallah. That sounds like a good idea. All right. Thanks, everybody. Apostate Maimonides. Yeah, totally. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And wait a minute, man. Rubenstein, Ridvan Mordecai, Bagel, Shalom, A Jew state prophet. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. Thanks, everybody. And as always, and for those who didn't understand what that means, because they don't speak goat,
stay away from Islam.